Some days, it's not a good meditation. I'm distracted. I want to get through it. Other days, I don't have a fucking thought in my head, and I'm there the whole time. So just like within one meditation, I'm on and off, my practice is on and off. But that's okay, because there's a whole consistent practice. And it's just like life. Some days you're gonna have a shitty day at the job, and other days are gonna be good. But you show up to the job every day. Of course, in that's the case, you have to. But it's the same idea, is just showing up. Even though I didn't do as much as I could have or whatever, I was there.
Where the fuck am I flying?
Okay.
I'm this great bird of prey that's to be feared and awed at the same time. I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
I think there's a certain nobility in not knowing where you're going. I just went along with it. And there's definitely a downside to that, to just not having a direction. But there's also a plus side to not focusing on a future that you think you want and embracing the future that is really what you want.
Show up, show up, show up,
show up. It's really a shame that very few people are going to listen to this podcast, because this is...
We must have a high tolerance for chaos. Learn to embrace the flow.
Forgive all that we can't forget. Regret nothing we can't let go. For despite what we have learned, infinitely more we do not know.
So let us tune in frequencies
until lunar vibrations grow. Let's pretend that it never ends.
And now, it's time to start the show.
I view this more as a record rather than like anything that, yes, it would be great if people were listening and there was a following. And, you know, I was thinking about this, here we go, I was thinking about this during the meditation. I was processing some of the things you said about envy, and it dawns on me that, yeah, I probably feel envy more than I admit, but not so much with somebody that makes a lot of money. More so people who are successful at their creative endeavors. Okay, authors, podcasters, you know, people who are doing, that's my big hang up right now is I didn't want to be a teacher. That wasn't part of my plan.
What was your plan?
I had no plan. And this is something else that I jotted down that I wanted to tell you is I did not
What about what we were
have a plan. What do you mean?
Not what we were talking about.
You want to sit here?
I'm good.
The existential what? No, well, I guess I guess my point is, like, I'm a fuck up. You know,
Dude, you just meditated.
Yeah.
Where's all this negativity coming
No,
from?
but I mean, but for real. My entire life, I've stumbled here. I did not have a plan. I mean, really. I got out of college. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was more disillusioned than before I went in. And I stumbled into teaching. You know, I got an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I had no other choice. Because I was living at home, I had to take it. And that's how I became a teacher. Even though I knew I was good at it and I knew I could do it, but I wanted to write and travel and...
Dude, you have whole summers off.
Summer's off. See, then the summer's off, and that doesn't help me because I'm still creatively blocked. You know, I'll sit there and not write. I'll sit there and not be aggressive about contacting people.
What do you want to write?
I want to write so many different things. Children's books. But the new one I started is a book about teaching. like how to be a teacher, like that kind of thing, based on my experience.
Is it like an actual instruction book, or like sort of like introduced with comedy? What's the other?
It's more of a conversational. This is my experience. So I have an outline. I can show you the outline, give you an idea of what the book would be about.
Later on.
But that's all great. But I'd have to sit down every day and write a little bit of it in order to. So
You fucking did this for 310 days.
Yeah, but like that's the only thing I've done that consistently. You know?
Well,
And
now, I think you proved it to yourself that you could do something like that.
yeah, but I need to prove it to myself that. Like I was hanging out with Doug the other day, and I said to him, he was talking about something, and I said, he's very much about service now, you know, like, and I agree with this, like service to others in whatever form,
Okay.
right? Like that's really what it's about. Anything else is just ego. And I said to him, I agree with you, but at the same time, I would love to produce something. I just want to produce something, you know, like a book and podcast and
You're serving other people.
And he's
people enjoy it.
that's true. And he said, well, then produce something, you know. And then like a couple weeks later, I found out Nikki's pregnant. So my joke is like, oh, that's what I produced. We're gonna produce a child. But you gotta sit and get closer somewhere because I don't think it's
That's the most wonderful thing, right?
That's what they tell me. You know, I'm not there yet. You can sit.
Sure. That's too pushy.
So, just let me get these things off, and then you're free to like take control of the conversation. But so I had no plan, right? Yes, very nice. You know, you came here today. I haven't seen you in years, right? And you know, you're like, oh, the yard is beautiful, and this is a nice place, and you met Nikki, and you can see just a taste of like she's wonderful, like more so than probably I deserve. And Devin is awesome, and I don't know how the fuck I got here. I got here with no plan whatsoever. In fact, I got here most of the time through resistance. You know, I moved up to North Jersey because I blew it at the old school. And Brian offered me, my other friend Brian offered me a place to live because he was getting divorced and there were no jobs down there. So I resisted, but I had to go up. I had no choice. So I guess that just goes back to what I'm saying about a plan. Like, yeah, you can have a plan, but like I'm here and I'm happy to be here and I'm blessed to be here. But I did not take conscious steps to get to this. It's what I've always wanted. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd walk home in the middle of the night, dropping a friend off, and I would just obsessively fantasize about finding that one, you know, that one person, and living with them. And now here I am, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why the fuck, you know, I met Nikki through Corey. I met Corey through Chris Stave. I met Chris Stave through my through my friends at Drew. It's like, you know, how did I choose to go to Drew University? There was a big box of pamphlets that I avoided looking at until the last fucking minute, till they brought in my cousin, the big guns, who went through them with me, and he held up the pamphlet. He said, Drew, Mark. It's like, look at Drew. And so I applied to 6 places, and I got into some others, but I ended up at Drew. Like, I don't know. I don't know what.
Able to reach the destination without really having.
Yes, exactly. And so, turning that back on to you. How did you meet your girlfriend?
Dating app.
The dating app. Beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. Okay. Met her through a dating app. And I remember you saying earlier today that, like, before that it was a series of what would you say?
Just people who were incompatible.
So you didn't expect to meet her?
No.
Was that part of the plan?
I mean, it's a rough plan of,
Right.
you know, I want a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And
So I took a step towards trying to, you know, talk to females.
but she's different so far in
Yeah, so I lucked out because she was level-headed and not rash, and she knows what she wants to do in life. You know,
but
she's a catch.
okay, she's a catch. She knows what she wants to do in life. At what point? Okay, so you said that there was a period where you sort of got off track with your life, right? You like weren't doing your work or something like that, and like distracted and fell off, right?
I was just trying to do too many things. Well, this semester?
No, just like well, I don't really know.
Okay.
Full history.
Yeah,
but-
so basically, it was I was working towards the associates. I got the associates in computers at community college, and then I went to Rowan, and to preserve a friendship, I basically flunked out.
Mhm.
Which I'm not friends with him anymore. And then I said, well, in my mindset back then, I was like, well, you know, maybe I'm not cut out for school. So I tried to do it, you know, I just got comfortable at the CVS job,
Mhm.
and I did that, staying at the same position for years. Stupid. And then got to cancer. And then I decided, well, now that I'm giving it a second chance, I'm going to do something that I enjoy because I don't like CBS.
Mm-hmm.
It's not challenging or rewarding at all. Do what I can to learn, but it's like I just want to get out. And so I worked outside because I like plants. I learned how to raise plants. I got another associate's degree in agriculture, and then more health complications. And I decided, well, maybe it's not. First off, the heat was killing me. I'm not meant to be outside, and then I don't even really want to be around like mold or farm animals or anything like no physical labor or anything like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically 360'd back into computer science because it's like, well, it's indoors. This is as strong as I got.
Okay.
I'm not meant for physical labor, but I do the thinky stuff. So it's like, office job. But, I've never ever worked in an office.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of, well, I don't even know where to start. Working in an office, doing corporate thingies.
Mm.
It's like nobody's going to hire somebody that doesn't have that experience. And I'm just like struggling to get myself motivated and accept that I'm going to have to start networking. I'm going to have to just talk to people. It's going to be uncomfortable, and I'm going to feel like the old guy, going to school with like 20-year-olds. And I'm just going to have to just deal with it just so I can get that piece of paper, network, make connections, and get that job. That's it. And once I get hired, I think it'll all become way easier once I get that job, because then I don't have to worry about school and education and I suck because I had a crappy job. Like I can, if I wanted to funnel all my time into one thing, I could, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
Because I can get super focused on something, and just everything else can fall off.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to do, but I get that. It's like, I want to start writing a book. Yeah, I'll start doing that. And I'll go hard for 6 hours, and then the next day I'll be like, wait, what am I doing? That's not my goal, And then I'll be like, I got distracted, because it's not making me any money, and that's what I need right now.
Okay.
To stay alive.
All right.
So, if someone was paying me money, I work hard. Like, you have that mentality. It's like, I'm gonna do a damn good job at my job.
Yeah.
You know, and I have that mentality. But I need to be at the right job.
Sure.
So like, I wouldn't mind. I would love pulling long hours. I wouldn't mind that. I think that'd be fun. You know, because I learned technical skills. I learned how to do it, and you know, I teach other people how to do it, and I network, and you know, go to the bar after work or whatever, and just meet new people. I don't know. I think because it'll all be geared towards something productive.
Sure.
And not unproductive.
Sure.
You know, like, planting is great, and taking care of plants is great, but I've probably made about $50.
Right.
You know,
I see.
I can't say that I haven't made any money.
Yeah.
But like, in a hobby, I put tons of money into it. I probably have like $1,000 worth of stuff, just for gardening.
Wow.
And because I go hard, I get dedicated, but it's not making me any money, and it's not good. I got, you know, a $3,000 camera, bunch of other equipment, probably like $3,500 total worth of stuff, because I wanted to do photography, but I'm not making any money. I might have made $50.
Understood.
You know,
I get you.
so it's like I can fall deep into something, but it's not profitable. And eventually, I just say, like, this is a waste of time. I'm not doing anything with this. Because, like, once it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I have the equipment. I've learned the knowledge. I can do this. Once it gets to the social aspect of, I gotta get customers, I feel like I'm swindling them out of money. It's a terrible mindset that for a wannabe business person.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I don't no, keep your money, feed your family. You don't need my pictures. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just looking too small. It's like, all right, well, I don't look at poor people, look at rich people. And then I'm like, they're a pain in the ass to deal with. You know, like, if I don't do something right, they're gonna have me doing a whole bunch of work. They basically have me by the balls, and I don't want to be chained down like that. And I started making up these excuses of why I should stop instead of going forward.
Yeah.
And I think that just at a deep stem from when I was little, I would be good at everything right away. And I didn't have to practice to whoop my friend's ass in the video game. But then, like, a month later, he would practice the hell out of that game. Well, me, I'd be playing a different game. You know? Then when we went and played that one, he would whoop my ass. And it's just like, oh my god, I would just be doing the same things that got me the win in the first place when he learned to adapt.
Nice.
Not for me.
Well,
you know?
no, but I mean, it's a nice lesson, I guess is what I'm
Sure. You know, and I wish I learned. I wish I was the one that lost. Because then I would have learned the skill of practice.
Right.
Being good at everything right away, I didn't gain that skill of practice. And then when it came to like harder things, like higher level maths, you know, how do you know, do this or that? It's more complicated, more involved. I didn't know how to do it, you know? Like in 7th grade, I was like struggling to study. Like I was like, how do you study?
Yeah.
Like I used to just like look at something, remember it, and I'd be good for the test. But now that I had to like actually study material and comprehend it and shit, I was like, how do you? My brain's not geared that way, you know. And I had to like slowly learn the skill of studying, which probably still don't have down.
My high school biology teacher, Mr. Nelson, he confessed to us once that he failed out of college. He was the smartest teacher I've ever known, period. We loved him. And he said the exact same thing you said. He goes, I was so smart that I breezed through everything, so when it got to the point where I actually had to study, I didn't know how to study, and I failed out. He goes, I blew it. My original point of asking you all that was, would you say that you're at least on track?
I feel like I'm starting to get on track.
And how long has it been since you feel like you started to get back on track?
Well, last fall, my friend convinced me that I needed to get the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So, and he helped me, like, pick out college, pick out a major. It's like, if this is, you need to convince yourself that, like, you have explored other options, right? And you've said no to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all of those options, this is the one that you chose.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any kind of second guessing, you can just look back and be like, yeah, look, you did the research, and remember, you decided that you wanted to do this for this reason, that reason, etc., etc. So I was like, okay, yeah, that seems right. I did it, and
Okay,
now
so
I'm back to
so
college.
last fall,
Sure,
and you met your girlfriend 6 months ago.
about that.
So-
Around January.
So
January.
that's my point, and that's what I'm getting at. And then maybe now it's just gonna fall flat or not have the weight that I wanted it to.
Mhm.
But my point is, you attracted a person, the kind of person that you want,
Mhm.
when you started to become the person that you want to be.
What do you mean?
It's like, you before you go search, like they say, like before you go looking for somebody else, like, somebody that loves you and appreciates you, or like you said, she works hard, she has goals,
Mhm.
she has a direction,
Mhm.
and those are things that you want for yourself.
Mhm.
And you did not find a person like that until you started to do that for yourself, because you only attracts like, right? So I guess that's my point. My point is, you work on yourself, and then the other things sort of come when you are ready for them.
Mhm.
When you are
Right.
when you have the right vibration going to
Right.
attract
Yeah.
a like vibration.
Right.
That was my point.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Like when I was 30,
Yeah, you just have to set up the foundation before any bricks, can be built on top of
there
it.
you go, exactly. And I mean, I thought about this in our little pause. Who I was at 30,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. I mean, like, I was a mess.
Mhm.
I was a mess. I came up here, I was teaching, but I wasn't happy. I still didn't have a girlfriend. I was obsessed with this girl in South Jersey. It was horrible for me. And it wasn't until I started to, I don't know, make peace with myself, let things go, not be as hard on myself or whatever, that the good things came.
Right.
That they fell into place. But even now, 11 years later, do I feel like, okay, I'm here.
Right.
I can rest now? Absolutely not.
Right.
Like, I feel as in doubt or insecure or not on track as I did when I was 30, even though I can look around me and see the evidence of, like, no, look how far you've come.
Mhm.
Right? Because I moved out of my house at 27 to the apartment in Genoa where we first met. And then I think I was 30 or 31 when I came up here.
Mhm.
And it's taken all that time for me to become more comfortable with people. Used to tell me all the fucking time. I used to hear it so much that it was undeniable, because so many different people would say the same thing. Mark, you just need to get out of your own way. You just need to get out of your... And I still, to this day, I still don't know what the fuck they mean by that. I really don't. But maybe I've not completely gotten out of my own way, but I've at least turned to the side to give that... So I guess what I'm saying is, like, I walked upstairs today, and you were in the kitchen, and the very first thing that struck me was, that is a good-looking man right there. Like, my God, is this a handsome man, right? But yeah, well,
It's the beard.
it's the beard. Yeah.
I've never had my facial hair this long.
Yeah, but it's perfect, right?
Thanks.
But there was also more than that. There was, like, I'll think back to the kid that I first met that came to me for tutoring, and you are a different person than that person.
Right.
Like, that's what struck me. That's what struck me instantly. Like, you are, just you look more comfortable in your own skin. Your eyes have I remember the look in your eyes. Like, I just remember the vibe I got from you, and it just struck me like, this person has grown and matured and figured a lot of things out from that last time, and you need to recognize that. Like, that's the thing that people are always fucking getting on my case for, is that I am too hard on myself. You're too hard on yourself. You're too hard on yourself. You know, you got to remember not to be hard on yourself, but appreciate where you are. I sound like I'm spouting.
No,
You know,
that's
but
important.
it is
No,
important.
I tend to try to, like, because high school was so bad.
High school's bad for
I
you.
would, yeah, I guess so.
But what were you gonna?
You know, I just pushed it away because it's like, I don't want to be that anymore. I'm not going to pay any mind. You know, the whole thing of, like, stay out of shit city. Go to the city that you want in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, so I just kind of push that stuff away. But I mean, I guess I'm doing it wrong because there's a lot of valuable things to just, you look back and, like, you right now you're forcing me to look back, and see how different I am now than I was. And then I look back at all the, you know, awkward advancements to becoming more social, and you know, I moved out kind of thing, even though my mom would love it if I just moved back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just was like, I don't know, I didn't know what, like, moving out would be like, and it was something new. And it was like, you know what, I have to do it.
Did you resist
even if it was like, even if I failed horribly and I had to move back, you know, at least that would be a learning experience too.
Be better than not ever doing it.
Right, at least I tried.
Yeah.
But, you know, now I'm moving into a new place. Like, I'm leaving more of myself behind because, like, I had everything from a child in my mom's house. And then I moved, like, a lot of the stuff with me as, like, an uncomfortable, like, I need to feel comfortable. I need all my stuff. You know, I need to feel like it's still home.
Yeah.
And then now, like, after being there a couple of years, I'm just like, all this shit needs to go back there because I need to move forward. So now I'm moving farther away and taking less stuff. So I feel more comfortable. And I think that's one of the things I wish, like, as a child, you know, like, my parents, like, brought me on vacations more. And actual vacations, like, planned vacations, like California or Iceland or Ireland or Japan, just somewhere else. Because then you can't bring everything with you. And here's another thing. I have these recurring nightmares about forgetting things in a new place. So, like, I'll be, like, with friends, and, like, we'll be, like, on a train going to Amsterdam or something, you know, somewhere just not where I'm comfortable, right?
I know this dream. Yes, I know.
And,
yes.
And it's just like, come on, you're gonna be late. Come on. And it's like, wait. I can't find my spoon. You know, I need my spoon. You know, or some dumb shit. And then, like, I get it and I find it, but then I'm like, oh shit, what if I need my plate? Oh my god. And then by the time I'm, like, done all gathering my stuff, they're like, come on, hurry up, you only got a couple minutes left. And I was like, I have all this shit, and, like, it's a big duffel bag and another duffel bag, and I just have it just keeps piling up. And I'm like, all right, wait, just stop. And I keep throwing it in.
Yeah.
And then I get I'll get on the train and I'm like, oh my God. And I get this great anxiety. It's like, fuck, I left something there. You know, and it's like really smack you in the face, obvious.
Yeah, sure.
About, you know, this fear of the unknown and how comfortable, you know, you are in like a position and all the stuff that you've gathered. And it's just, I wake up sweaty and terrible, you know? And it's like I could do without things, you know? Like, I brought my beard product tonight because I want that to be a habit.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have a nice year beard.
Mm-hmm.
I want a nice beard.
It sounds like, at least from my experience, because it sounds very similar, of just wanting to be prepared for any eventuality.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like stupid.
Yes.
It's like, dude, you don't need to bring your comb. You can deal with like your fingers for one day.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, your hair doesn't need to be perfect. You're seeing a friend, and then you're coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, no need to bring a comb. I didn't bring a comb.
I have a comb. If you need a comb, I have a comb.
Beard brush.
That's the other
nice
thing too, is you forget that, Jesus Christ, if I need something, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
You know, if I really need it, it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, I go to Florida with my mom, and I've learned over the years, I have to pack less and less and less and less. I gotta bring all these goddamn clothes, and then I hang out in her apartment most of the time because it's so hot during the day. Wear the same outfit for 3 days. It's like, what am I doing with all these clothes?
Yeah. It's like the safety net of what ifs.
Right.
Yeah, so...
And then, of course, you can't take any of it with you in the end. Like, in the end, none of it goes.
Right.
So, yeah. So the only other thing I wanted to mention was, have you ever seen BoJack Horseman?
I refuse to watch any more of it than I already did.
Really? Why?
Depressing as shit. Really?
Yes. Well, how far did you get?
Right.
It is true.
First season or something.
Oh, you gotta keep going. Oh, you gotta keep going.
Why? Does it get better?
BoJack? Yeah.
It does? Like
I wouldn't say that it makes you... I mean, if you were... So, quick story about... Okay, so I had a huge fight with Nikki, like a couple years ago.
All right.
To the point where she went to her dad's with Devin for like 5 days. Just like, we needed to be apart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those, like, this might be a relationship ender. And we were here already. we lived in another apartment before this.
Mm-hmm.
Piece of shit. So, she's gone. We have a couch in that bedroom. It was just the living room. I folded out the couch bed, and I spent 5 days on that couch bed, and I was like, oh, let me watch this fucking BoJack Horseman. Because I had watched a video about the philosophy of it. I'm like, oh, it's...
Yeah.
And I could not stop. So I just binged the whole thing, right?
Oh, but
it was the perfect thing for that time.
Really?
You know, because I was so miserable that at least watching that misery helped me not think of my own. But anyway, so the whole point about BoJack is there is one scene out of all the 5 seasons that is my absolute favorite. And I don't think it's the first season.
Mm-hmm.
He decides that he's going to get his shit together, right? And he's going to start jogging. Do you remember this? Or?
I do, yeah, it wasn't the first season.
It was.
Or maybe I saw a little bit from second season. I don't If you explain more, I'd probably remember.
So there's a baboon that jogs every fucking day, like an older baboon, and he sees this guy, like just this baboon just jogging every day. He decides he's going to do that, and of course, within a few minutes, he passes out, thinks he's going to die, and as he's laying there, he's looking up. Baboon's face leans over him and says, "It gets easier, you know." And BoJack's like, "What?" He goes, "It gets easier, but you got to do it every day. That's the hard part." That shit fucking stuck with me. That is like that. that's the basis of this whole like everyday meditation thing. And so that wasn't the last thing I wanted to say. The actually first thing, when I thought about them, when we were sort of arguing about coming in and out of the moment during the meditation, right? So then I was thinking, wow, okay, so yeah, that happens in a single meditation. But then like I started thinking about the last 300 days and how some days it's not a good meditation. I'm distracted, right? I want to get through it. Other days, I don't have a fucking thought in my head and I'm there the whole time, right? So just like within one meditation, I'm on and off, my practice is on and off. But that's okay because there's a whole consistent practice. And it's just like life, right? Like some days you're going to have a shitty day at the job and other days are going to be good. But you show up to the job every day. Of course, in that's the case, you have to. But it's the same idea. It's just showing up. This idea of consistency is really become really important to me.
So if I say I'm going to jog every day, just as long, I mean, maybe I don't even have to jog, but if I walk up and down the street,
yes,
you know, at least I showed up and said, no, I'm still tallying this for my chain.
Yes,
whatever.
yes, because I
My
showed
combo.
up. Even though I didn't do as much as I could have or whatever, I was there, right? I was there. That's what's important. And that's where the real discipline comes in. So it's like and that's the struggle that I'm trying to apply that to my creative outlets. So like with the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogan said this the other day, and it really pissed me off because he hit right in the. He said, "Yeah, you know, some people will do it for a while, and then they get out of it, and then a few weeks go by, but people stop listening. People forget.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, nobody was listening in the first place, but the spirit of it's there, right. Of just." He's like, but if you just keep doing it, you just keep doing it, you just keep doing it, you know, and then eventually it grows. And you know this with plants.
Right.
It's as simple as a plant metaphor, right? You gotta water the fucking thing every day or it dies. And so you just choose what is worth my time to invest in and do it. And you said that to yourself, like once if I'm into something, I'll go full on it. Consistency for me is the hardest thing, like that kind of self-discipline. And that's what I'm struggling with creatively is, you want to write? Well, fucking then write. Like you write for 15 minutes this day, you wrote for an hour tomorrow, and maybe you wrote 5 minutes the next day. But you were there, you showed up every day and you wrote, and the next thing I know, 300 days of meditation has gone by. If I had been doing all that with my writing, I'd have a fucking book right now.
Yeah. Plus with the jogging thing, like, you know, maybe it's 5 minutes this day, maybe it's 10 and then 15, so you can extend that time.
Yes.
You know, to longer and longer.
Well, that's awesome.
You know, there's a guy that said, like, it's like, there's not going to be any perfect time to learn coding and to code a project. You just literally have to bite the nail and just sit there for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do. You don't be productive, whatever, but you have to chunk out a huge, in that sense. I mean, I don't know what it is for like, how long it takes to get into a flow for writing and stuff like that, but
you say the same exact
for
fucking
coding
thing.
is
same goddamn advice.
Yeah, but like when you have, you know, like you oversleep till 10, and then you work at 5, and then you have to water the plants, and then you have to, you know, make the coffee and prepare your lunch. And so by that time, it's just like, there's no real solid chunk of time to sit down.
I feel you.
Yeah.
When I say I feel you, because I look back now at when I was single and I had all that fucking time and how I wasted it. Because now my free time is in these weird chunks, and that's the excuse that I use for not starting something. Because I think, well, I only have an hour. Like, what the fuck? You know, what am I going to accomplish in an hour? And then I will make up excuses of things that need to be done. Because in this life that I'm living, it's a never-ending list of shit that needs to be done. And when my job starts up again, that's a whole other never-ending list. I say never-ending, but until June, that list never ends. As soon as one thing crosses off, something else is added on.
Mm-hmm.
So I can become a slave to that and avoid my creative desire, and it's very easy to do that. But like he was saying on the podcast the other day, it's like, you only have an hour, use that hour. You only have a half an hour, use that half an hour. That little, just whatever you have. And I feel you, because I get up 4:30 in the morning, sometimes 4, and I'm out the door by 6:15. I haven't even meditated. Like, I've just gotten ready. So there, I got to the point where, like, fuck, if I meditate, I'm going to be caught in traffic. So let me just leave early, get to school, and I'll do the meditation there. But so I'm leaving the house at 6 o'clock, getting to school, teaching all day, coming home, and then there's dinner, which Nikki mostly takes care of, and when she doesn't, we order out. And so I'm trying to be better at cooking, but then the joke is that I do everything else, and I don't mean to say that to put her down, because she's amazing in so many ways I can't even. And what she does with Devin, and and pursuing her own goal, I want to give her the freedom to pursue her goal. Like, she has dreams and desires and things she wants to accomplish, and I want to give her that space. But I will get started doing chores at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and next thing I know, it's 8 o'clock. And if I'm not in bed at 9:30 to get that sleep that I need, I will be not good to anybody the next day.
Right.
So that time excuse, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier of, God damn it, I would like a world where we weren't required to work so much, like that we have to be there every single, these 24-hour, Amazon delivery in 24 hours. Like, it's fucking insane. Where like snow days is another one, where they'll not call a snow day unless they absolutely have to, right? So everybody's gotta get up and they gotta drive in that shitty fucking weather, right? And be miserable, and there'll be an accident because we gotta get to work, right? We work so hard for these homes and these families, and then we don't even allow ourselves collectively as a society to enjoy those things. When it's a snow day, when you look out the window and you're like, there's no fucking reason to walk out the door today. There's no reason. It's pointless. But yet we still feel that we have to do it. God forbid if we're not 100% productive every single minute of every day. It's crazy. That's all.
And
all I'm done.
end rant.
Yeah, right. End rant. So take it away.
So is there a way to maybe streamline your mundane activities? Like, so say you put the carrot on the stick. You're like, coming home from work, and you're like, cool, I get to write as soon as I'm done my chores, right? So you put the carrot on the stick, and then while you're doing your chores, you're just doing them quick, right? That means, you're getting kinetic energy going.
Mm-hmm.
You're ramping up. You have energy. Get your chores done as quick as possible, and then you get that carrot on the stick. You sit down, you have a bunch of energy, and you just create for that hour or something.
Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried that, and it does not work for me. Because once I get into that chore mode, I become addicted to it. It's very hard for me to break out of that and shift into writing mode.
I hear you.
Yeah,
the shifting of the mood.
Because to get into flow state takes time, so you got to sit there in front of the computer.
It's like a tracking trailer.
Yes,
it's a big semi.
Right.
Yeah,
and you gotta be in front of that computer and maybe fuck around for a half an hour writing garbage or whatever until you get into the flow. You can't just go from chores to writing.
What about like prep? So say, so my friend has a saying, and it's kind of becoming canon, with me at least, is do something while thinking. So what if you, as you're doing your chores, you put on this, and you'd be like just doing your chores or whatever, and you just let your mind wander, you know? And then you're just like, yeah, this should happen. Totally, yeah, that would be awesome. Plot hook, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, and just like talk out loud. And this thing's picking up the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, clean, 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 clean. You get the shit done. You get your main ideas out. And I feel like when I'm in the flow of like doing something and I have thoughts, it's like, yeah, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. I don't fucking have a paper and pen.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It happens to me all the time.
So it's like,
I have no
it's
discipline.
like, I'm not gonna stop and just take this out because it's gonna ruin the flow. You know, but if you can just like talk out loud and have it captured, I mean,
I think you're
21st
right.
century, you know, so you get your chores done, you get into the flow, you kind of like sneak your creative flow into the obsessive cleaning flow.
I'm with you.
Right? Talk into the universe, this thing picks it up, and then when you sit down, you can, you know, say one day, just decipher that.
Yes.
You know, just like make the fuck is it called? When you
outline.
like what the fuck
Transcript.
Yeah, you can transcribe it. You know, maybe one day. That takes up most of your time. You know, maybe like you'll have other ideas when you're getting into the flow of transcribing it. Write those down. You know, it's just a little bit. Stupid shit ideas outline. Maybe you'll throw it out later. Who knows? Turn around to the left. Then the next day you do the same thing. You have some ideas, and then you get them down quicker because you're in the flow, and then maybe you can extrapolate on more. You know, I think that might be a good process.
I think you're right.
I'm gonna write that down. Right?
I
You
think
have to like send that to me or something.
I think you're right. And I
it's
used to be that way.
Piggyback on another thing
Yeah.
that puts you in that zone.
Right.
Because getting in the zone. So if I were to sit down and I wanted to program, I'd just be like staring at the computer screen.
Right.
And I would just be like, there's so much I don't know. You know? And I'd be like, how the fuck do I do this? And I would get disappointed, I'd get up and walk away.
Yes.
You know? But if I got these ideas, it's like even like go on GitHub. I gotta look at I don't even know what's on GitHub, but my friend Matt, who has a PhD in computers, told me GitHub was good. I gotta look at that. Even if that was just a little note. At least when I sat down in front of my computer, I'd be like, check out GitHub.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it would send me on my way.
Right.
And then as that first step is accomplished, and everything else is momentum.
Yeah.
You know, and
Sure,
the ball
absolutely.
will keep rolling down the hill.
I think you're onto something, and I've thought of this a lot. Where, like, why do you not have a notebook with you at all times? Why do you not have your voice recorder ready to be turned on at all times?
Just be like, you know, like have the old style recorder and just be like have it in your pocket. Just be like pocket cup.
Right.
You know,
no, you're absolutely right. It should be literally
It needs
attached
to
to
be-
my body.
I mean, even if it was like a watch or something. Just
Yeah.
kill the time.
Until, hopefully,
The blanket's in the armoire.
maybe Elon Musk's neural link will help us
You know, that
get those ideas out.
it makes me just think it's just lazifying people. You know, like all these like different things that are coming out. It's just making people lazy.
What do you mean? Like,
You streamline things. It's like no one needs to. I don't know how the fuck I got up here. I think I was paying attention to the roads that I was taking.
the GPS, right? Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I don't know how the fuck to get back home. If my phone blew up, I'd be like, "Where's the gas station?"
Yeah.
I'd have to ask for directions.
Uh-huh.
They'd look at me funny.
Right.
You know,
This was my life. You know, that was our life before computers. I remember that time. You know, I used maps.
I remember that time too.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not that young.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I don't know, lazifying people. I mean, it's good in some sense. Like if you're really driven, like they have this workflow style called Agile, and it's how to make your workers more productive in you know, like a friendly environment.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. But it's just sort of like saying, all right, well, instead of like just monkeying around, it's like, this is what it's like. Let's first discuss, what did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? And what challenges? And then everybody says that in the daily stand-up, right? And then everybody gets to work, and then you get a thing done. You go over to a board, right? You physically walk over to a board and move your slot into the next production, and then the person that's in charge of that can go. So it's like very, very organized, hyper efficientized. You know, it's more efficient. So that's good. It's like it cuts down all the crap time.
Yeah.
And it makes it flow. But I think just some things are just, you know, like, you don't need an automatic potato peeler. Like,
right.
You probably don't even need an automatic can opener. Just fucking do the thing that cranks it.
Yeah, we don't have an automatic can opener. But I see what
Why use a battery?
Yeah.
When you can just
I see
turn the motherfucker.
Right.
It's so stupid. All the dumb technology bullshit that we have.
Yeah, yeah. But you also hit on something else that's very important. Did you know that I published a book with two friends?
Heroes and Hierophants.
Hierophants. Yeah.
I have a copy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
nice. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I have to admit, I didn't read much, and definitely don't remember any of it.
A lot of people say that, and I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised.
Oh, you can put publisher down. You don't have to know what.
What'd you say?
On your resume, you can put publisher.
Oh yeah, I mean I could say that.
I published a book.
It's just a shame that people didn't really get into it, because there's some real gems in there. I really believe that.
Yeah.
But people try to read it from beginning to end. I'm like, don't do it that way. Just like look at the contents, pick something, just do a little at a time. It's a great bathroom book. Anyway, the point of that book is when Doug called us on New Year's, we did a 3-way conference, and he pitched the initial idea. Or maybe it was over email, whatever. But it was, we come up with a topic every single week, take turns, and then all three of us have to write on that topic. And you have to have your piece in by the end of the week. There was an accountability, an external accountability.
Yeah.
What I am not good at is self-accountability. So if I say to myself, I'm going to write 1 page a day, if there's not an external thing whipping my ass over it, then I'm not going to do it. I want to be able to take that sense of accountability and just apply it to myself. Self-discipline.
Yeah.
Never been a strong suit.
I totally feel you on that.
Right.
Definitely. There's like the boss hat, and then there's the worker hat.
And when I came up with this, when I told Nikki that I had this idea of, it just started coming to me, like different things about teaching. I would say something, and she'd like, I started to get this idea of like, wow, this should all be put in one place. Mm-hmm. And she just kept egging me and nagging me, really. So I sat down a couple weeks ago, and I, busted out an outline in like 5 minutes, a 2-page outline. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, that's incredible. To me, it was nothing. I'm like, yeah, so I have an outline, whatever. But to her, that was incredible. And then she kept nagging me. So the other day, I sat down and I looked at the first part of the outline, and I just started writing. And I mean, within 20 minutes, I had that section finished. Like, I had the introductory section finished. Not edited, but just written.
Right.
And I haven't gone back to it since. But I was like, shit. Like, this can be done if you just do it. Like, if you just show up and do it. And some things you get a feeling about where you know that they're worth it. Like, this feels worth it. But I said the same thing about the children's book that I started writing in like 2007 or whatever, that has 5-6 chapters written, you know, and haven't gone back. And to this day, I think of things for that book, for that story, that I haven't written, you know. But I guess we're talking about the same thing, just showing up. And now you talk about time. I have a fucking kid on the way, a baby. That terrifies me, and that's why the universe did this to me. Is because it's the thing I'm terrified the most. Like a babe, my own child. Like, it's not the same when it's a stepdaughter.
Yeah.
You know, like, she views me as a father figure, and I take care of her as a father would. But it's not the same. It's just not.
Right.
You know? And having my own child, like,
It's your name.
yeah. Like, you know, that is... You know, it's something that I feel that I'm not qualified for.
Exciting and
scary. I'd say way more scary than exciting. Or like, you must be excited, and I'm like, I think both Nikki and I think that is going to build and come as it becomes more real physically.
I mean, think about all like the little, like, when they get of age, you can like say, you gotta do chores.
Oh, I'm with that on her now. We've really stepped it up. Like, because Nikki and I have tried to do the chores allowance thing, but we always fall off of it. But I've made it a point because I know that she's not going to be consistent. I'm really trying to make it a point because my parents never did this with me.
Yeah,
They gave me money when I needed it.
Yeah, that's totally.
It was real bad.
Yeah, I just told my mom was like, "Here, let me give you $3,000," and I was like, "No, you can't just give your children everything." Like, I'm definitely not gonna do that when the time comes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to teach them as much responsibility, and it's like, there's a point where kids should be kids, but at the same time, like, you want them to be better than the other kids.
Yeah.
So, like, you kind of have to slip in the adult framework, you know, just slip it, you know, just, it's like, look, you want the game, take out the trash for a week. You know? It's like, you want that toy, it's like, okay, help me wash the car, right? And that's it. You work, you get paid. That's how the world works.
Yes.
You perform a service, and then you get a credit saying that you did a service.
So this definitely supports your earlier argument, and because it teaches somebody self-discipline. It teaches them, right?
And they'd be like, well, you know, the hope is to eventually get to the point where it's like, they're like, I want this. What do I have to do? What can I do for you to give me the money so I can get this? And then they're asking.
That literally happened a few days ago with these AirPods that she's obsessed with. And I said, look, I personally don't have any problem with it, but you got to go through your mom. And I knew she was going to say no. One, because they were expensive, and two, because she doesn't really need them, you know. And then she was worried about like the electronic, the stuff going into your brain. And I gave Devin.
Is it Bluetooth?
I think they're Bluetooth, I guess. But I gave Devin the counter argument. I gave it to her. I said, you didn't hear this from me. I said, but you tell your mom, Wi-Fi and all that shit's going through us all the time. All the time. You know, cell phone, like, it's, you know, don't give the argument that AirBuds is gonna, you know. So anyway, but she can't, when her mom finally said yes, and the only reason mom said yes was because she said, I'll pay for them myself. So then she comes to me and she says, what do I have to do to earn? She counted how much money she already had, and she knew she had $100 at her dad's. I mean, she counted all of the change in the jar and all of the cash, asked me to come in and help her double check it so it was accurate. And then she's like, I need this much money to buy these. What do I have to do? Write down what you want me to do. I can't get her to do chores. you know, I have to like say it 3 times, 4 times, because she has no real motivation to.
Right.
But damn if she didn't get right on that shit to get that money.
And then she motivated herself.
Yes.
Because she was focused on
Yes,
that goal.
and she used her own money to buy these things, and that is so fucking... And she's done it before, even when she was younger, for certain things. Like, I look at her, I'm like, God damn, I wish somebody had taught me that shit when I was a kid.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So... How you feeling? You want to call it a podcast, or?
I don't care. I don't know. It's gonna be a while before I can fall asleep.
Yeah, I know.
I usually, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock usually, because I work till 11.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
it sucks.
This is my natural circadian rhythm. I truly believe that, where if you leave me alone with no external places I need to be or anything like that, I immediately revert back to stay up till 2 or 3 a.m., sleep till 9 or 10. I don't do that now because I sort of get up earlier, just out of habit, but not super early, But this has been a big issue in the summer, so I'm trying to correct this because Nikki, she still works, and she's very good about getting herself in bed at a certain time. But in the summers, I would end up staying late, so then I'd never see her. Because she gets up early in the morning, leaves, I'm sleeping, then she comes home, we see each other for a little bit, and then she goes to bed, and I'm not tired.
All right.
So I have to keep that in mind too. Even if I go through the motions of going to bed with her until she falls asleep, and then if she's asleep and I'm not ready to, then I'll get up. But at least I was there with her.
Yeah, you're putting the time.
Putting the time in.
Be there.
What was it? Be here now?
Show up.
Oh, show up.
Right?
Yeah.
Show up.
Show up.
Show up. For that.
It's fucking important.
Yeah.
Just in the last 5 years, I've learned so much. So much. The hard way. The hard way.
Nothing's easy.
Everything has been learned the hard way. The important stuff. So, I don't know.
We ain't got millionaire parents that just tell us this is how I got to my prosperity. Do the same thing and you'll be good.
But the statistics on that, right? Like the kids of rich people are the ones that have the worst time finding a purpose or direction in life, because they were born into
I guess
lack.
they had good parents. Then
if you have good parents.
Because the thing is, if I discovered the secrets of the world, and I figured out how to do it, that's the first thing I would teach my kids. I wouldn't let them do whatever the fuck they wanted. I'd be like, look, this is what you have to do. Look presentable. Talk to this guy. Shake his hand. Wake up early. Go to bed. Get your sleep.
Yes.
Eat 3 meals a day. I don't care. Just focus on it. Just make sure you do it.
Right.
All these different things where it's just I figured it out. And to a point, my dad kind of did. I feel like I'm just becoming him for closer and closer I am.
It's scary, isn't it? You said that earlier.
There's things that just it's different habits, things that I say, the way that like command animals is the same way.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, but like he would tell me things, but I didn't listen, and he didn't force it. You know what I mean? He should. I mean,
it's a tough
but you
role
can't-
for a
you
parent.
can't-
You can't force it, right? Because then the kid turns off to you. Like it's a very delicate balance.
It is. It is. Yes, delicate is a perfect word. And I say this like I have experience, but
But you do have experience because you're thinking of your father, and now you're in this position where you realize, fuck, he was right about a lot of things, and I was the one. I look back at my dad, and I spent the first half of my life just criticizing him. And I mean, look, he made a lot of mistakes in a lot of different ways. I'm not going to deny that. But I have to also look at my role in all that. I didn't make an effort to spend time with him. I didn't ask him to teach me things. I didn't go and ask him for advice. So a lot of the reasons why he was the way he was because of me or my brother or my mother, and that breaks my heart to think about, because in the end, all he wanted love, and he wanted to feel that the things he was doing, that we actually appreciated them, and I don't think we did. I think we took them for granted, and he sensed that, and I, even now with Nikki and Devin, sometimes I feel that. Like I see what they'll do to me. Like I'll clean the whole fucking house, and she's grateful for it, but it's like, okay, well, that's great, you clean the house, but that's not a romantic thing. So, or I sometimes see, like Devin used to always, when she was little, when she was 4, when I first knew her, run up, Marcus, come play with me. Now she's 9. Now it's like, hi, and I'll be happy to get a hug, but sometimes I have to ask for the hug, right? And I think about when my dad would come home from work and I'd be sitting in the goddamn basement and he'd say, hello, and I'd say, hi, Dad. I wouldn't even go up to greet him. This man who sacrificed everything he was, all of his dreams, whatever it is that he thought his life would turn out to be, he gave it all up for us, And so when I see them do it, I get triggered because I realize, fuck, that's how he felt. I'm feeling how he felt. It's a mind fuck. It's a total mind fuck. It really is. The cleaning, I was the messiest motherfucker. I got yelled at constantly for leaving dishes in the sink and not taking out the trash, and he would clean up after us, and now I'm cleaning up after them. It's crazy.
It's, oh my god, man.
It's really a shame that very few people are going to listen to this podcast, because this is, out of the 34 that are out there already, like this is definitely in the top 5, I would say. Number 1 is the one I had with my brother after not seeing him for 2 years, and then that was the last time I ever saw or talked to him ever. Like that podcast is number 1.
By default.
By default, right, exactly.
We could have been like talking about fart jokes the whole time.
Wouldn't have mattered.
Number 1. Yeah.
But I wasn't. It was him going, the first half of it was him telling for the first time ever, telling honestly every fucking horrible, crazy thing he did for the 24 years. Shit that I knew but needed to hear. Like, he actually said it. Like, no, this is it. This is what I was doing. And then the second half was, this is how I'm healing now, I'm doing better, and this is what I'm doing to help myself, and I'm meditating, and I'm reading, and the lessons that he's learned. So it was this weird sort of the bad first half and the good second half.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a beautiful podcast. Of course, 2 months later,
Yeah, but, you know,
whatever.
that kind of stuff is, you know, difficult to deal with. Family and the person involved, and
Oh yeah.
you know, sometimes you hear about success stories and stuff, but you know, what's the percentage?
Mm.
But I think the takeaway, you know, I don't want to say like everything happens for a reason, but
Oh no, I would say that.
I feel maybe he had some sage advice, things that he went through that you didn't have to go through.
Exactly.
But he was able to pass that information on to you so that you could learn vicariously
It's
through
really
his bad mistakes.
It's really weird that you say that, because not long after he died, I had a dream, vivid, one of those and I was in the basement, our family basement. That was our place, and whatever. Like I don't. Here's the important part that I remember is there was a little kitchen off of the basement, and so like there was like a bar, like a little.
Okay.
It's like a divider, right?
Yeah.
Like a window.
Okay.
So I'm looking through that window, or no, I'm sorry, it was the fireplace in the basement. And he comes out of it, like there's an opening, and he comes out of it, and I'm just looking at him clearly, like, I mean, he's there. And I said to him, I said, did you know? Did you know you were gonna die? Like, did you know that this is what you were doing, or did you know this was gonna happen? That's what I meant by did you know? And he made a joke out of it. He goes, yeah, I had a little hint. I had a little idea. But the part that I remember that connects to what you said was, he says, here, I'm giving this to you. And he hands me this book. It's this big, like, you know, leather bound, and it has a symbol on it. I can't remember what the symbol looked like, but it was gold and it was sort of glowing. He goes, here, I'm giving this to you now. And then I got really angry and upset with him, I guess because of what happened and what he did. And as soon as I got angry with him, he matched the anger. We used to fight all the time. And we never got along, ever. And we just had a fight. It was a fight just like any other fight. Like, I could feel it, fisticuffs. And he pushes me away out of the dream.
Wow.
It was the craziest, oh my God. Like, he was doing it on purpose, you know, like, go, live your life.
Damn.
You know. And there was another one that came later on that was even more, but that's longer, so I won't get into that one. But that, you know, so that when you say that passing on,
Yeah.
I really feel that that's what happened. Yeah. But I don't give a fuck, you know? It's one of those things, it's so cliche to say, I don't care, I'd rather have them back. But, you know, there's lessons, it's all lessons. And that's the beautiful thing about the universe, is that he learned his lessons from being him, and I learned my lessons from interacting with him, and he learned his. It's like everybody learns their lessons from each other for whatever reason. So like whether somebody is a heroin addict and overdoses, like I don't think in the end it really matters. I think we all return to the one, and that we realize that lifetime was like even though Michael had this tragic end, everything that he did in that space in between, he accomplished his mission. Even though it was fucked up, we might view it as fucked up, but whatever he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. It was the only, I can see him up there and whatever, angels or my dad saying like, no, you see, Mark would not have learned this lesson if you hadn't have done this. Like, you don't realize how important you were to the whole thing. And I think that's all of us. God, I mean, I know for a fact that Nikki and I met each other for a reason. And she learns as much from me as I do from her.
That's the way it should be.
It's the way it should be, right? You know, and God willing, I hope that this is the one for you, this girl. I really do. But see, I'm not worried about you. That's the other thing I wanted to say earlier. Is all these things that you're saying, I totally feel you, but I'm not worried about you in the least. Like, and what I mean by that is, whatever it is that you want to achieve, I'm already 100% confident that you're gonna get there. I really am. Like, I feel that from you. And then I think, well, fuck. You know, if I got here, anybody can. All right? Anybody. Because I didn't try. I didn't even try. I just went along with it, you know? I mean, and there's definitely a downside to that. There's definitely a downside to just not having a direction. But there's also a major, major plus side to not focusing on a future that you think you want and embracing the future that is really what you want. I guess. The other side of it, every time I say something that I think sounds profound, I remind myself, you are a fucking idiot who doesn't know anything.
Dude, you're an English teacher. You know a lot of stuff, dude.
I don't know shit. I don't.
Come on, man.
I owe everything to my friends and everything. Everything to my friend. I learned everything from somebody else.
And they learned it from somebody else as well.
You know?
I mean, everybody has their own life experiences that they learn from.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the hope, right?
I think you can have the experience and not learn from it.
Yes.
So I think that's something to think about. Bolded. Bolded in this transcript.
You can have the experience and not learn from it. We'll put it at the beginning. I always do a little teaser at the beginning before that maybe that'll be the teaser. You know, what's reminding me is that I'm gonna have to fucking go through 3 hours of audio now. Like, that's the thing about this.
Man, but think about it. Like, things are gonna come up when you're listening to it, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, and you're gonna pause it, and you're gonna think and research it, and then you can play a little bit more, and another crazy shit's gonna come up, and you're gonna be like, pause it and think about it. It'll be fun.
That's the beauty of the podcasting. That's the beauty.
Yeah, you know, like, you might, like, I feel more comfortable. I don't care that I'm like mumbling and, you know, stumbling to find words. The fact that it's just there, it's freeing, you know? It's like writing it down on a piece of paper, but quicker.
Yes. Right, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
I guess my only concern at this point is living long enough, right?
Everybody, you know, health is like numbers. That's why you need to fucking quit that shit.
Quit the vape. I stopped cigarettes, so I'm pretty confident I can stop vaping in 8 months.
Oh, what is it? I gotta be real here.
Yeah.
Is it really quitting cigarettes? Like, you're still getting the nicotine and you still have the oral fixation.
Oh, I think there's a difference. I mean, have you
just
ever
taking-
smoked cigarettes?
I have a couple times.
Okay, a couple times.
I've not
But
been an addict.
I would, and other people have said this to me too. Well, it's a vape. It's not the same. It's not. I'm telling you, it's a different.
Don't go
beast.
down the defensive train.
No.
Okay.
No. I understand. Like, I get it. You're still addicted to something. You're still addicted to nicotine. You still have this habit.
It's
right?
not as bad for you, but that doesn't make it good for you.
Right. But like I said, it's this whole
And it
idea.
doesn't help that it smells fucking good as shit.
Well,
It smells tasty as hell.
it's again. I've been so hard on myself, like so hard on myself, that the idea behind this is, it just, like, yes, I get that. I totally get that. But for me to not smoke cigarettes is so huge. Like, it's so much of an accomplishment to me that I have to at least, like, rest in that for a bit. Like, I have to. And everybody's like, when are you gonna quit the vape? Like, Jesus Christ, give me a chance. Like, it took me 20 years of smoking.
Yeah.
I started in 2000. Well, so it wasn't 20 years. 18 fucking years of smoking. And so now somebody's gonna get on my case, and this is not me being defensive. This is my thought process. And now somebody's gonna get on my case because I'm vaping. Like, dude, listen, motherfucker, whoever you are, you don't know me. You don't know how much of an accomplishment it is for me not to be driving out right now and buying a pack of cigarettes. So I'm just trying to not be so hard on myself. Like, yes, I know, but you know, I've been.
You got it in your own time.
Yeah, and that's the thing is
relish the success.
The success, I guess.
And then whenever you feel comfortable, take the next step or not.
Because God forbid I stop vaping, and then something happens, and then all of a sudden I'm like running out to get a cigarette. That could happen. I could easily go back. That's the thing about the cigarettes is, I mean, these companies have been doing this for years. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's fucking nanobots in there. Like, they have researched how to make them the most addictive fucking things on the planet. Like, they say that quitting cigarettes is as hard as quitting heroin, which I wouldn't know. But it's that hard. It's really hard.
Have you ever had, like, lung problems?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, yes, I've had, like, phlegm and breathe, but not anything that I can clearly identify.
Think about, like, you know, when you do the meditations, and it's heavily on breathing properly.
Yeah.
Breathing, right?
Right.
Think, like, if you didn't have the crap in your lungs, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you don't anymore because of the cigarettes.
Well, I already feel better.
Yeah.
Right, and this
that
definitely...
stuff that probably doesn't add...
It does...
Yeah, it adds nothing to your lungs.
Well, no,
Really
that's not true. I mean, it can be... There's this thing called popcorn lung that can happen,
What is
apparently.
popcorn lung?
I forget exactly what it is, but
doesn't
here's
sound
what this
good.
is. This is an oil, right? So the problem with this is, that I find, is it'll coat my esophagus, and also I'll get phlegmy, right?
Okay.
So there's that. You know, my lungs feel better, but I probably, if I stopped vaping, they would be even better. But already, my sense of smell's returned. My ability my lung capacity is improved.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of shit.
Because lung cancer isn't something that... Did I ever show... I didn't show you yet. The surgery.
Oh shit.
They took out part of my lung.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right, you told me that. Yeah.
Has the top part of the lung, so there's 2 lobes on the left side.
Yeah.
There's 5 sections in the top part.
Okay.
They took out 3 of those.
Wow.
Not terrible, you know. I did a lung function test, and they said that everything was perfectly fine. You have 100% of your lungs effectively. But, you know, they want to, like, look good, so they're not going to tell you about all the bad stuff. You know, when I'm doing strenuous activity, there's, like, a wheezing, like, I don't know if you heard it, but, like, it's like a little bit of a lag.
Yeah.
Because, like, my lungs fill over here, and then here, it's just a little bit extra. Which is annoying. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt anymore, so thankful for that. But, yeah, people with, like, lung cancer, they have to take the whole section out. Yeah. You know?
And it's not really something that is curable. Like, you don't really come back from that.
You can't regrow a lung.
Right.
Yeah. No, once it's out, it's out.
And
if you get lung cancer and they take a section out, it's gone.
Right.
And if it spreads, you're
You're
losing
fucked.
a lot of your lungs.
Yes.
That, like, this I'm okay with. If I had to, like, get another part of my lung out, I'd be like, oh, goddamn, not this again.
Right.
You know, like, I can't, you know. Like, but as long as I breathe through my nose and it's, like, a slower breath,
Mhm.
I'm fine. Like, I
Yeah.
can jog without stopping. Or, like, gasping for breath or anything like that. Actually, I use meditative breath. Like, I go... So it's at that pace
Right.
as I'm jogging.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty slow. And I do that the whole time.
That's
I
really
never
cool.
get to the point where it's just like...
Right.
I don't have to do that. It's like always that like slow in, slow out.
Mm-hmm.
And I do every time I do a step. It's like...
Nice.
I'm surprised I could do that. Yeah, I really surprised myself. Jogging for like 30 minutes or
Yeah,
something
because
like
you
that.
would think that your breath would
Yeah,
automatically.
I was scared. You know, I before when I was out of the hospital, before like the coughing thing,
Mhm.
I tried jogging, and it induced one of those coughing blood things.
Oh, jeez.
So I was kind of apprehensive to do it like after the surgery because it's like I don't know if my lungs are healed again. I don't want that to happen. There's PTSD about that thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, like I'm just really happy that everything is. It's not back to normal, but I don't have to. I'm not living in fear. It happened last June, and I had to go into the hospital, and they put me on medicine to try to like get rid of the infection. And the medicine had side effects of like sadness and all that stuff, but just the fact that I was afraid of doing anything. Cleaning. I didn't want to bend over because that's what happened when I was on the farm. I was doing a lot of this motion, right?
Right.
And I was bending down, going up and bending down because I was tying up tomatoes, and it happened then. So the bending down motion, like I guess, did something.
Yeah.
And then lifting heavy objects. The second time it happened, same job. I was lifting something heavy, and I felt like a little pop.
Oof.
I was like, I feel weird, and I started coughing blood. And I can't remember the third time.
Wow.
But was there. Yeah, I don't remember the 2 times, but I know it was 3. On the 3rd time, I was like, I gotta go home. I gotta go to the hospital. Something's not right. It happened before, but in like 6-month intervals.
Yeah.
This one was like 3 days in a row.
Right.
So, I don't remember what I was saying. In the hospital, laughing also induced it. You know, my friend was there, we were like joking about schwannoma and a whole bunch of shit. He lifted my spirits because I knew I was in for like a world of shit. Amphotericin was terrible. And, you know, he was keeping my spirits up. Then he had to go. And they're like, alright, we're going to give you the medicine. And it hurt really bad, like, in my lower back. Because I think I damaged my lower back working. And I guess, like, something was exposed. And it was just the worst pain I had ever felt in my entire life. And after, like, I kinked the hose. I was like, oh my god, get this thing to stop. Like, it was so painful.
Jesus.
So they stopped it, and like for a good 20 minutes, like that pain was slow to escape.
Oh.
It was just terrible. And it would be like someone was stabbing me in my lower back. And like I would be fine, and then I would get like this horrible pain, and it would just like last and then kind of like subside a little bit. And then it would go, you know?
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to give you this medicine. And I was like, it's like, we can give you painkillers. I'm like, so they kept pushing the medicine. I was like, all right, give me like Oxycontin or Codone or whatever. And when I'm like pain-free, then try it. and I'll be willing to meet with you halfway. So they gave me the thing. But I think it was a blood thinner. The painkillers are blood thinners. Bleeding. I ended up coughing, like... If you ever... What's the one with Desmodina or whatever? It's like a Shakespeare play where she had blood on her hands. She couldn't wash off. Macbeth.
Yeah.
So, is it Desmodina? I don't know.
I can't remember her name.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you're
Lady Macbeth, whatever.
Yeah. Out damn spot.
I coughed. Oh, in my opinion, like they were like, that's not a lot of blood. But I was looking and my hands were covered. It was a pool of blood on the floor. By the time like I controlled myself and I stopped coughing and it subsided. But like my hands were covered in blood and the floor was splattered in blood. And I was on drugs.
Yeah.
So it was like extra bad. I like started crying and I was just like, oh, that was good. You know, like I was just, I was high as shit.
I can't even imagine.
And
that's...
Yeah, so basically for like 6 to 8 months or something, I was just terrified to lift anything or bend over. And it was like this, I got depressed. And I didn't have a job, so I dipped into a lot of my savings just to like pay rent and stuff. I probably annoyed the crap out of my friends because I was just home all the time and I would complain about being afraid and all that shit. But then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm losing my friends basically because they're just like, I'm tired of hearing your shit, basically. This is how I see it. I don't think they'd say anything to me.
There's probably that in their minds of just like, oh, bummer.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it out. I'm just gonna be done with this. I don't want the risk because even if the medication did work, and it's like, hey, you don't have an infection anymore. Congratulations, you're back to normal. There would still be that fear because it came back. There would always be that fear that it would come back again. So it was actually not a bad surgery. I was in there like a day I don't even think I was in overnight once. That's it. And then they sent me home the next day. They had tubes in me. They had a tube in my dick. They had a tube in my side. They had scars and shit. Yeah, but I have to say, like, if I had any other family, I wouldn't have handled it. The whole experience from the beginning as well. I gotta just say, like, if it wasn't for the strength of my family, like my mom, my aunt, and even like Bernie and Scott, like our cousins, were just super helpful. Like my neighbor, Mike, he still cuts the lawns and stuff like that. So like he would help out with crap around the house. Bernie and Scott would come over and they would help cook dinner and whatever to help my mom. And I don't think I really properly thanked them. I don't really know how I can repay them for being so kind. I don't know how to.
You can either. The answer to that is you do it for them if they need it, or do it for anybody else when that person needs it. That's all. Use their example and say, well, I'll be there for...
I'll pay it forward, basically.
Pay it forward. I was going to say pay it forward, and Dude, I mean... Like, you're a hero. Like, you went through that. Like, that is...
There was people...
But it's traumatic. Like,
yeah.
The fact that you came out the other end of that.
Yeah.
I said something to Nikki the other day of... with this whole baby thing and our anxiety and all that, I said, ironically, I have more faith now than I ever have. And I can't tell you why, because I'm terrified, but I have more faith now, and that's coming through the crucible like you did. You know, like I would think that you would have this sort of like, hey, I could have ended it there. It could have ended there. Like you said it earlier. Like every day after is a gift.
Yeah, and I did have that mentality when they had me on drugs, and a little bit after that. You know, that helped a lot. I did have a good attitude going in. I accepted it on the car ride to the hospital before everything started on 4/4 of 14. That car ride, I accepted it. I think that's what helped me. Because I met a guy in there that he just denied it. He's like, I'm fine. I do not have cancer. And the doctor was like, yeah, you have cancer. And the guy was like, I'm fucking leaving. He left.
Scary.
And
Scary.
Then he came back.
That's
because he passed out on a ladder.
Oh my god.
And it's just like, I'm glad that I accepted it. The drugs definitely helped. But, you know, like, after that, I had, like, this sense of, you know, a second chance. But now it's just been so long, and, like, I've kind of been through, like, life kind of hit me again. I just forget about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see myself as, like, a hero. I don't see myself...
It's the wrong choice of word. It's the best thing I could come up with.
But I mean, like, you know, strong, like, beat cancer. Like I don't see myself as any different, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, like...
You just did what you had to do.
Not, yeah, it's just not spectacular. You know, like, they make it seem like, yeah, beat cancer, yeah, it's tough, you're strong, you're special. And I'm like, everybody's gonna get cancer. And anybody born after the year 2000 is gonna get some form of it.
Yes, right. You know,
it's gonna be like treatable and shit probably as technology continues, but like all the crap that's in the water and the food and the air, it's like we're living in poison. Unless
we seriously get down to the genetic level and play around, but still, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. This is an entropic system.
Right.
Right? So, when you say denial, Nikki's mom died of cancer. And I think it was lung cancer. She was hardcore smoker. Like hardcore, since she was like 13. But when I met Nikki, she had a lot of anger towards her mom because her mom was in 100% denial. I mean, like up until the very end. Like she didn't even tell them right, like at first until it became so obvious. But even in the hospital, it was just like she refused all treatment, you know, and that really stuck with her. I mean, I would say not until maybe last year, at the most 2 years, did she finally make peace with it. And we would know she made peace with it because her mom would visit her in dreams. And so every time she saw her mom in a dream, she'd get angry and upset. And then there was finally these dreams where she didn't. And where it was good, you know, and it's just... I don't know where I was going with that.
You gotta find the meaning in it, you know, like it is horrible, and in the present it's just terrible, but you know, once things settle down, you have to find the lesson in it, you know, and it definitely shapes you. Like in her case, I would imagine that like it would make her more honest with like physical ailments with her family. I'm sure that maybe she would open up to you about things. I'm just saying, it changes you.
Yeah.
The experience happened, and it has an effect. What it is, who knows?
Right.
You know, you live and get changed. But
God bless you, man. Seriously.
I think that's why I'm so angry about not having a direction. You know, it's like, I was like, if I ever get a tattoo, it's going to be a phoenix on my back.
Nice.
Rising out of a pile of bones covered in blood. Perfect symbolism.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like, I am a phoenix. Where the fuck am I flying?
Okay.
Where the fuck am I going? I'm this great bird of prey that's to be feared and awed at the same time. I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
It's great.
It's like
perfect. It's perfect. It really is. But I think there's a certain nobility in not knowing where you're going. It's you know, like, I really
life
do.
would be boring if you knew where you're
Yeah.
going. I could take a little bit of boring, maybe about $72,000 a year of boring.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't want to overwork myself. I don't want to be like a super. I don't want to be a jack of all trades because I enjoy everything. But I definitely want to master something, at least to the point of not having to worry about money as much. And I'm sure as time goes on, 5 years from now, it's going to be around 90,000. Because fucking inflation and whatever the fuck our president decides he wants to start. He's gearing up for
to me that whole game is a lost cause. All of it, like that whole world, the politics, governments. I mean, to me, it's just like
that's a whole new podcast, man.
Yeah, it's a whole different part. Like, to me, it's just like, it's like the crickets chirping, like waiting for people to catch up. Like people like us are thinking out there, and most people are still stuck in this, like, when people say, that'll never happen. You say something, what if there were flying cars, or what if you could, like you said, the planes thing. Nah, that'll never happen. Or what if we stopped having wars? Never happen. That's the three. I don't know. I should give them a name. That'll never happen. This is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. And there's another one, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But all of them do the same function. They keep you trapped in what is. Like because what you believe is real, right? So if you, like you said, you use your imagination,
right.
Go out there, come up with the craziest ideas, because if you don't, it's all what's the cliche quote they hang in classrooms? I think I used to have it at one point.
Hang in there.
If you never take, was it? No, hold on a second. You'll always miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Okay. This is true.
It's very true. And people are just like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you're risking a lot. If you change a country too much, there's a lot to lose.
Well, yeah.
And it's a very delicate thing. So I don't expect change to be quick. But it has to be persistent. You always have to be changing.
If you look historically, it's like the change is slow, but then there are also these linchpin moments where where it's quick. Like it could
a revolution.
A revolution, or
I don't want to be in a revolution.
A natural disaster. I also there was something I learned in history class in high school. It was called the Glorious Revolution, I think. I don't remember anything else about it other than it was a revolution where the government changed hands and there was no bloodshed. We could look it up because I'm sure. I know it's a thing. I just don't know any other details about it. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. But I'm not gonna say that'll never happen.
Yeah, that's just the way it is in my repertoire, because I think of the horrors of, slavery and, how minorities are oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to express sympathy, But I think actually South Park put it best when I think Kyle or something was trying to be like just the token back black friend to Token.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like, "Hey man, I know exactly how you feel." He's like, "No, you don't." It's like, yeah, I do because of this. And then like a few times during the episode, he's like, "Oh, I finally get it." He's like, "No, you don't." And then like it was recurring, and then basically he just said, "Look, I don't get it." He's like, "Oh, now you get it." So it's like basically you just have to, you know, it's just this thing that I'm attached to. Like I would never have a plantation or any of that shit, right? I would never think about doing anything and oppressing like a race of people that's fucked up.
Right.
You know, and I can't really sympathize enough to like join their cause because I don't know, right? And I feel like I can't sympathize because I don't know.
That's interesting.
And it's sort of like it prevents me from joining that cause. You know, it's like, who's this like white guy coming in here fighting for black rights? What does he know about black rights? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's a little awkward. But I can't deny the fact that our history, which is written in stone, the country was built on that shit. And all of the policies and the people with power, all of that's in place because it was built off of slavery.
Yes.
And oppressed people.
Yes.
Change happens slow, but in order to change the system, you need to tear it up from the basement. You gotta. We were built off of slavery. We need to rip up the floors. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
We need to have a revolution.
Did you ever see The Last Temptation of Christ?
No.
So there's a line where Jesus in there is like something about the tree. I wish I could remember it now, but he's like, "I'm not here to change the tree. I'm here to chop it down." Like, well, that was the same idea as like from cut it off from the roots.
Right.
I also believe that. I just the problem with revolutions is you get what you want, the people that revolted, and then suddenly they're the ones that have to reconstruct the new paradigm, that lay the new foundation, and then they become just like the people they revolted against. Look at America. Look what we revolted against with England, and now look at who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are as oppressive of an empire as Britain ever was. That's the curse of revolution. Like especially when it's violent and bloody.
It kind of like rewrites things, though. I feel like even though it eventually becomes the same thing,
there's like still
you can
progress.
Rewrite. You take the people out that hold on to the old beliefs. You put new people in with the new beliefs, and it's just like no, none of this voting, none of this collusion or anything like that. We're talking firepower. Whoever has the biggest muscles is going to win. The masses have the biggest muscles.
It's true.
So it wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be difficult to just like fuck shit up in the government and just like cause anarchy, basically. But the people that come in, they have to be like these, not like, white supremacists or black supremacists. They need to be like, we love all people. They have to be that people.
Yes.
And then you're still going to have the people that are like, our race is better, and you have to deal with that shit. And I don't know. It's just, but it has to be ripped up from like the roots. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just that the country, all the people with power. There's a band called Protest the Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite lines, or one of the songs, is what is it? It's something about just basically killing the rich. Oh, what the fuck is it? Can't remember. Anyways, it's like you have to get rid of the people with all the money and redistribute the wealth. That's just what it is. It's too many rich people. I'm assuming they're white.
Yeah.
All super rich people I've seen on media, white.
Well, not exactly, because look at Saudi Arabia, man. Those are some rich motherfuckers out there. So it's not. I mean, in America, probably yes, and probably if you look at the world, probably 90% of them, the richest people in the world, are white.
I don't know about the world, but like in America.
In America,
I don't really know. I'm not very worldly, so it's like maybe I'm just talking bullshit.
No.
But,
you're definitely onto something.
But I don't know. They need to be taken out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just, I still don't know. I don't think that it's that whole violence begets more violence. Like that creates more negative karma. I'm hoping that we reach a point in our species evolution.
Nothing's gonna change. Intelligent, passive people don't make change. It's just like this guy made a computer program, and it like basically had population generation, and it's like, okay, these mate and they create this one, they share genetics, blah blah blah. So it's like he replicated nature. You got he put in genes for like altruism, right? There is selfish and there's altruism creatures, and he put different parameters, and the altruistic ones always died out.
Wow.
Because they were just giving too much to other people who weren't giving back.
Right.
The interesting thing is they actually held up 50% of the population when they banded together and said, we're only going to give our food to the other altruistic people. So they were selective. So it's like, we're not going to give. So I think of like maybe an ethnicity, right? It's just racism, basically. It's like, oh, your skin color is light, I'm going to help you out and not that guy. Or a black person. It's like, I'm going to help out a black person and not a white guy. That's the only way this altruistic thing, the gene for it, was passed on. But at the same time, altruism in its propagative form is racism.
That's a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's...
Doesn't have to be, though.
Well, no one is... God isn't changing the situation. And he just let it evolve, right? Just people naturally just gravitated and all these different things, and just kind of evened out, right? And this is what it is. God didn't put any kind of hand into it. He just watched the dice roll, and then this is how the people separated.
Maybe. I have to think about that. I really have to give that some thought.
There's definite observations, about the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you say, how did it become like this?
Right. I see what you're saying.
And it's just like, it's undeniable because history is written. It is solidified. How did we get to where we are is, foretold in our past. If I could live lots of lives simultaneously, I would love just working at CVS. and just being a cashier the whole time. Or a supervisor or whatever. I wouldn't mind it. Because I had other chances. But because I don't have any other chances, it's like, yeah, I don't want this to be my one life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sure. Sure, of course. So there's a Walgreens down the street, and I haven't seen him in a while, so maybe he quit, but this Indian guy works there. I would go up to buy something. He's like, you can get 3 of these for whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And he says, he's like, thanks for letting me know that. And he goes, it is my duty. You could see in his eyes that he took his job seriously, right?
Yeah.
He's a dude that works, and I talked to him after that, so I got more of his story and so forth. And the dude was working like 12 hours shifts, and they were really hurting down there. They didn't have people. Now they have more people, but he was exhausted. His feet were. He's like, my feet hurt, you know. And then but he also had this attitude of, I'm gonna do the best I possibly can here. Like, it's just, that's my duty. That's my, it just, that really stuck with me. You know? But sometimes it's hard. It's hard. Can you imagine how hard it is for people that's, like, you have something to look forward to. You can go to school, you can get out. But there are some people that, like, they'll be at CVS their whole fucking lives. Like, that's their life. Maybe they're lucky if they become a manager of CVS. You know, but if you are, just fucking do it right. Do it as best as you can, whatever it is. If you take out the garbage, or you pick up the garbage, then fucking pick up the garbage right, you know? That's right. This is why it drives me nuts when I see teachers phoning it in.
Phoning it in?
Phoning it in. Like,
what do you mean?
the teachers that don't have enthusiasm or passion. And it's very...
Phoning it in.
Phoning it. You never heard the...
Never heard that expression.
Really?
Phoning
I'm a little shocked just because it's pretty common. Phoning it in is you do something with no effort, right? You just... Like, if you're told to sweep the phoning it in. Like, if I had to do it, if I had a writing piece due, right? If I just put no effort in, if I just wrote something without... Like, because it was easy for me to do, right? I didn't challenge myself in any way. I phoned it in. And I don't know where it comes from. We should look it up, actually. I'm not sure where that originally comes from. It's a great idiom, you know, and you know when you're phoning it in.
Is it sort of like being phony, maybe? Phoning it in?
No, I think it's more just like, it's just going through the motions without any type of interest or enthusiasm or desire to...
We have a lady like that.
Yeah.
She's old. She's way older than me.
Wow, that's why that's how teachers get.
And it's like, how can you not give a shit so much? But I guess she was older, so maybe she's just jaded.
It happens, man.
But
it happens. Nikki's got a woman at work like that, who's the same way. But she's been there forever, you know, and that's like that's my big. Well, not big, but it's one of my fears of teaching, is that 1 year I'll just be like, that passion will go and I'll start to phone it in. And that's not to say that I haven't done that already. Like, there are days or weeks or certain times where I know I'm phoning it. Like, I'm
the
aware.
time they don't have the marble jar out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Fucking marble jar. But, you know, if you're, at least when it comes to teaching, and I'm sure it's this in other places too, phoning it in as a teacher, you're doing some major damage.
Yeah.
Major damage.
Yeah.
Because those kids, whether kids realize it or not, they are picking up totally on your vibe. They will only be enthusiastic if you're that enthusiastic. So then, if you're not feeling it, then you have to fake it till you make it. Which is not the same as phoning it in. Faking it till you make it is
you're still acting happy and excited. And then
at some point it kicks back in. So like some days I'll start off like, oh god, like but then next thing I know, I'm kicked into gear, and sometimes it takes a kid asking a question or whatever. But I know if I did that every day, that phoning it in thing, I'll lose them. I will lose them. And I look around me and I see so many
Phoners.
Fucking phone. That's a great way to put it.
Phoners.
Let's call them phoners.
Phoners.
Dude, that guy's a phoner. Nobody's even gonna know what that means. It's perfect. You know, like when we wrote this book, Noel would always say this. Like, he would wait till the last minute and then he would write a piece and phone it in, because he's he's a brilliant writer. Like, he can spew something out that seems great to everybody else, but he knows that's his shit. You know, and God, it drives me bonkers when I see teachers doing that. It drives me insane. You have to care.
Yeah.
You have to be enthusiastic, and it's hard when you teach the same goddamn thing every year, or just having to start over from scratch with a brand new class every year.
Dude, I mean, yours is a year-long process, right? And you have to teach the same stuff. Imagine, I worked at a coffee shop, and literally, Groundhog's Day every 10 minutes. Because they had a thing that you had to go through, right? And it took you about 10 minutes to go through it.
What do you mean a thing you had to go through?
It's just like a task list.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like, I can't remember. It was, wash the dishes, reload the sink, clean the counter, something, I don't know. There's like a rotation of like 5 different things that you had to do on bus duty, right? But they, you know, you were running around. So it's like clean the dishes, put them in, you know, put the dishes away, get the milks, you know, go to the freezer, get the milks, go clean off all the counters, do a wipe down, and then repeat it all.
There you go.
And it was just a 6-hour shift, 4 to 6 hour shift, maybe more, maybe less. Definitely not more, less than 4. Of just those 5 things.
That's
over.
That's soul crushing.
Every 10 minutes. And it was just so monotonous, yet it demanded all of your attention.
Yes, right.
It demanded so much. Like, it's like they wanted you to remember, you know, what drinks are going out. Hey, is this over there? Did you see that on the table? Go clean that up. You know, like, have you been to that? Fill this up. Fill that up. Fill this thing up.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you have to just like be constantly looking and alert. And that was just one of the positions, right? There was register, coffee, and back bar.
Alright.
And on register, it was the most fucked up, retarded way to do it. No one from that company is ever gonna hear this. But they, oh my god. It was like the customer would say it as if it was Starbucks, basically, right? It's just like, can I have a large Frappuccino? And it's like, well, large Frappuccino's different, right? But I know what you mean. So it's like, you have to like interpret, they say things, you translate it into our language, right? And they had like a line of the way that you say things. So you had to do that. When you punched it into the register, it was the reverse, right? So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But there's like 9, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do what you'd punch in is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'd type it in backwards, but then you would go forwards again when you said, you would call it out to the coffee maker and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you had to remember it. And it's not that easy. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, is it a double, single, to stay or to go? What kind of drink it is?
Yeah.
You know, all these. There's so many different little
variables,
a la carte shits.
Okay. All right.
Right. You had to remember it.
Yeah.
Right. And then the coffee maker would then say that back to confirm. Then you had to listen again to make sure they got it exactly correct. Because if they missed something, you would have to repeat it back to make sure they got it correctly and they remembered every single drink, right? So there's like, you know, like 5 to 7 components to each drink,
Right.
not including the cold case orders, the pastry orders, because you said those at the end. And if they had multiple drinks, like there was like, well, you'd have to say all 4 drinks.
Wow.
From memory.
Yeah.
And remember that as they got done, right, as they were finishing making them, they would repeat some words, and you'd have to know which drink it is by looking at it or hearing when they put it out. It's just it's a clusterfuck of, I don't know how the hell they're in business.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. Was this a single place? Like it was its own thing, not a chain?
2 locations in Princeton, and it's right in front of the gates of Princeton. So they got a lot of foot traffic, constant out the door for a solid 8-hour shift, just constant. So they charge a lot for coffee. They made a lot of money, but the workers were just beat to death, and I was just blown away how the workers just did not care that they were being slave driven.
Right.
And that's a horrible thing to compare it to, because they weren't literally getting beat and killed and raped and all the terrible things that slavery implies. But it's slavery under a different name.
Yes, it is. Well, that's what all of us are experiencing right now.
But this was just bad.
That is brutal. That's brutal, man.
And again, they like a lot of people like it. Like the people that they were there, they figure out who's good and they give them more money, so they stay.
Yeah.
And the people like me, they keep it the same wage, and then eventually, they try to frustrate you if you're not good. And then I was persistent, but I left eventually. Left.
Yeah.
I should have left a long time ago, but everybody was just like, dude, you're not cut out for this.
Right.
I was like, no, I need to get it. Once I get it, it'll snap, and I'll be like, I'm good. But it was just such a clusterfuck.
Ugh.
It was. I mean, I can't even emphasize how much I'm surprised that they're still in business.
Well, that's why I've avoided any job involving the food industry my entire life. And I've done pharmacy,
not doing it.
Custodial, anything food service, fuck that. Fuck it.
No, my friend worked at the restaurant right next to it. It was like a hoity-toity Princeton fish restaurant. And he's like, dude, it sucks. The money is good because they're fucking rich, and the plates are $80 or some shit. But it's not. It's I hate fucking catering to rich people. Yeah. And it's that's why I didn't go into photography, because you have to do weddings, and it's they have money and they're paying you, they want it done perfectly, and I don't want to fucking deal with your fucking bullshit.
That's why my friend Colin, who, when we were in the TV station in college, he went to start his own video company, and then he eventually just stopped because he got tired of making wedding videos and being this, like you said, being a slave to. Imagine somebody imagine a factory worker.
Sometimes I think I would enjoy that, because then you just do your 9 to 5, you just do the bare minimum, you phone it in, and then you get paid. Factory workers are paid a little bit more decent, but not crazy. Maybe $35,000 or something.
Right.
But it's just you're there. You just clock out your time, and then when you get home, you just have all your energy, because basically factory workers just
Yeah, but do you have all your? I mean, it depends on the job, but do you have your energy? Because repetitive, soul-crushing tasks like that, they sap your energy. They really do.
Well, I don't know. The small world job, I was just dead after a 4 to 6 hour shift. I was dead. Then there was easy work, farming, right? Fucking put things in the ground. That's it. You were on a task all day. It's here, all these tomatoes, you just gotta put more rope around them so they stay up.
You enjoyed that.
It was stupid tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice in the morning when it was cool and it was springtime. And then the heat kicked in and you're just like, fuck this shit,
Right.
you know? But it was like mundane and it was nice because you could think about other things.
I see what you're saying.
And then you had no one's breathing down your neck and you write it down. And,
Yeah.
you know, keep doing your thing.
That's a good point.
It was
Sure.
nice. And then when I was exhausted when I got home from that because of the fucking sun.
Mm-hmm.
And the occasional manual labor, you know, that was exhausting. What else? CVS. It's just like, there's just so many little things that you have to deal with. So many little fires that you have to put out.
Mm.
It's draining. It's
Yeah.
draining. It's like, this is like stupid dumb work, but I'm still tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's just draining. So I'd rather just do something that, even if it is draining, I'd rather enjoy doing it.
Sure, absolutely. I totally feel that.
I mean, even if I didn't, that would monopolize my time, I wouldn't mind not having hobbies because I'd be doing something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to pull long hours.
It's not work if you enjoy it.
Sure. Yeah. And you know, I don't know. When you are exhausted, tired, then switch, like going from like a thinky job into like gardening at home. You're working different body parts,
Mhm.
you know. So it's like, all right, you're kind of refreshed.
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't mean to be keeping you up.
What, you can see me getting tired? You can see me, yeah.
It's a slow slump.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Plus I have to piss, but...
It's an exhausting day, man. I drove 2 hours, or an hour and a half here. We had like a few different conversations.
Yes, we have. Before we
It
even
was
started
hot
recording.
and hot as, oh my god.
See?
It was hot as balls. I'll let you get to sleep.
Yeah.
What time are you waking up tomorrow?
I don't know. If I'm up first, you'll hear me. If not...
Yeah, it's very powerful having a positive family, the power of the prayer, and God, plus the positive attitude. All those things mean so much to get you through life.
We covered all the important stuff. That's right. So now let's cover the unimportant stuff.
It's a microcosm of all of the pain of the United States.
Ooh.
Getting his mood. We left on off on a specific thought thread. You don't remember where we ended it, huh?
I'm not sure I remember what I did yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. When you're in the moment, there's only this moment.
I guess tune in next time when I have some interesting shit to talk about. Other than that, I love you. I love the world. Peace out.
Sir, I avoid responsibility. That way nobody feels compelled to put me in a position of power.
Be excited, you know, because now it's here. Shiny gift of a lesson that you have in front of you. And now you know you have to work through it. You really have to, well, if you want to and you're tired of it, you have to work through it.
Why not? And give yourself, I would call it a dose of real reality. I mean, like where nothing makes sense but everything works.
Let's be real. None of this is real.
I feel like I'm telling a story.
What's your advice for people in life?
My advice is to stay strong, be helpful, be smart, be brave, be powerful, be kind, and be loving to everyone, even your pets.
People are like, oh, wouldn't you get lonely when all your loved one dies? Like, no, you get new loved ones.
You know, we really don't know what's in store for us. We really don't know.
Well, would you want to know?
Well, no.
Let's say something bad happened to you. Move on. It already happened. Just move on to the better things in life.
I hope it's really not just us. Right? And everyone else is like, self-created eternal hell. No. Every waking moment is a joyous experience of growth and opportunity. I find myself totally spiritual centered and at peace with the balance between me and the rest of the universe.
We can't believe we're good at what we do, because if we believe that, then we'll stop doing it. And more than that, we'll stop growing.
What a heck of time!
Amen to that, my brother. Marcus, own the day, own your life.
It's such a game changer.
After all that, they won the game.